Hey everybody, welcome to Facebook Live on Monday night with EntreDot. This is getting to be a habit, huh? I love every minute of it, actually. Hey, look, we got a special treat tonight. We're going to cover digital marketing. A couple of aspects of digital marketing, to be more precise. And we got a guest with us tonight who I am going to interview and is going to share his knowledge on the subject. So you don't have to hear me blathering on endlessly about it. I'm introducing Dante Crescenzi. Is that the right accent, Dante? Crescenzi.
It's something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dante, I've come to know, I've been aware of for at least a year and a half. When I go to Wilmington, I see him now and then, but over the last several months, I've gotten to know him very well. We've worked together on projects, and his work is superb in digital marketing. His depth of knowledge and breadth of knowledge and ideas and ability to get stuff done, no matter what it takes, is pretty extraordinary, I think. I like working with him. With that fine introduction, Dante, see if you can do better. Tell a little bit more about what you do in your practice.
Oh, well, I got to follow up to that, but no, thanks for the introduction, and thank you for the kind words there. But yeah, my name is Dante Crescenzi. I live in Wilmington, so I'm local to Wilmington. I run a digital ad agency called ImpactWorks.com. We do website development, social media marketing, inbound marketing, pretty much the full gamut of if you have digital advertising and marketing needs. We are kind of like a full shop web development, web design firm. So we're full service in that sense. So you can find us at ImpactWorks.com, and I'm glad to be here and answer the questions that Bill has for me. So.
Okay, welcome, Dante, to
Thank you.
Facebook Live with EntreDot on Monday night at 7. Okay. I sound like a huckster here. So look.
It's going to be syndicated next year, right?
Yeah, I expect that fully, maybe sooner.
Right.
We hope. So look, I'm a novice at marketing, as you know, and hundreds of others know. But I know enough to be dangerous, and I need to simplify things when I talk about this. And I've done it in my posts and videos, that I talk about marketing as three things. There are 3 steps in marketing at the very highest level. First step is awareness, making people aware, more likely. The people you think are going to be your customers aware that you exist and you got something great for them.
Right.
The second is to reach them in volume, people you know and people you don't know.
Right.
But the step in between that I call evaluation. It's where they go and check you out, wherever your presence is on the internet. Of course, your website and others. We'll get into that in more detail. So let's start with the first one, awareness. Before that, the heart, sorry, I missed a point. The heart, in my opinion, of marketing is your darned website.
Right.
If it does not pass muster, you lose.
Right.
So let's talk about that a minute. What's the main content, the most important content that's got to be on a website to, quite frankly, pass somebody's evaluation of you as a company and maybe you even personally?
Right. No, I think that especially in today's day and age, everybody's doing, has a mobile phone and everybody's browsing online. So there's a few different channels that people will go to immediately for trying to find out, something about a topic or a product or a company or just information in general. And the website is the tried and true sort of, everybody needs a website. So it's not like if I need a website, you need a website. If you're running any sort of serious business or trying to sell something online or communicate any sort of message, you really need to do that through a web presence. I think that the first impressions are like the most important thing. So I think within the first 10 seconds of somebody coming to your website, they'll make their own assumptions on whether or not you are serious about what you do or not. And a lot of that has to do, unfortunately, with the judgment of, does this website look good?
Mhm.
Is this website mobile responsive? Can I view it on my phone easily? Does it have the information that I want when I get to the home page? So there's a bunch of different things that you need to have in place to make sure that you communicate that correctly, and somebody doesn't go away with anything negative to think about, your business or what you're trying to do. So yeah, I mean, I think if within the first minute, probably, realistically, if you can even keep them on your website that long, that's great. That means it's pretty sticky, and then they'll end up going to other places on the website to find the information that they really need. So yeah, the website is super important, and that's comprised, depending on the business. So some businesses have the brochure site, which is if you just have a really important message to say, or you have a business, say like a consulting business or a service-based business, a lot of that's brochure. There might be some scheduling apps and some other functionality built into it that will help people get in touch with you, and online customer intake forms, which we can talk about in a second. But then you have e-commerce sites, and those are pretty mission critical to selling online these days. So if you have a product, you want to sell it online, you've essentially just, made your whole customer base the world. So, as long as you're doing the right marketing to the right people through the right channels.
Yes, sir. Hey, look, that feels dead right on with me. I say the same thing. You need a website.
Yeah.
And the next thing I work with people on is the messaging that should be right there in that first 10 seconds you're talking about.
Right.
And it says what you're going to do for your customer in a really compelling, understandable way. Any chance of getting on beyond the 10 seconds could be based upon the messaging that you provide. So I spent a lot of time with people with a thesaurus and all that sort of stuff, thinking up the right words to make the right emphasis for what they do for customers. So,
yeah, everything above the fold is really important. So when you first come to a website, they call it above the fold. It's sort of an old term that they kind of relate to newspapers and stuff. Newspaper comes folded, but everything above the fold, which means that everything is on the screen that you can see as soon as you get to the website. You're going to have some sort of call to action, or you want to be able to communicate what you want to your customers or whoever's viewing your website to take away with, like, right in that section. So you don't want them to have to scroll down, and you don't want them to have to go searching for it. So yeah, above the fold, and that really needs to have a call to action. If you can do it, you have a call to action that will allow people to click the call, or leave your email address or something like that, then that's great.
The only other thing I say that has nothing to do with the website, it's about the evaluation step, is when people go to the website, they might also go to your LinkedIn profile and any other presence you have on the internet. I first think of LinkedIn because there is a profile there, and people can fill out a pretty complete one. Make sure that that's up to snuff too, and it tells your history and your same messaging about your business. But these things, dead right, are essential. This is not like a question. I run into this a lot at networking events. Young people kind of said, do I really need a website? I don't think I need a website. That's a waste of time, blah, blah, blah.
Well, a lot of people
after I kick them in the shins.
Yeah, no, a lot of people
pay attention here.
Yeah, a lot of people think Facebook can, if I have a Facebook business page, that's a replacement for a website. It really isn't, because it's a necessity as an extension of your website and your web presence, for sure, as is based on your business Twitter or Instagram and those sort of social media platforms. But you need a website, and
these pages are surrogates of your website.
Exactly, and you want to be consistent, like you were just saying, across all platforms. So that's one of the things that we do is, as brand specialists, is we kind of tell your story, and we look and see what you're doing now, and then we evaluate it and come up with a plan across all different platforms. Because while the brand might be the same across, the look and feel of it across all the platforms, your individual posts, they might vary a little bit, but for the most part, you want to stay consistent across everything.
So we spent a lot of time on that. We'll move on, but we spent a lot of time because this is darned important. If you don't have this, you don't have a business. Okay, now let's get on with creating awareness. So
Right.
this is to me the step of reaching out through some sort of marketing channel
Mm-hmm.
to people you know.
Right. Yeah, and
So
this is the most important. This is the most important thing, aside from having something for somebody to go see, is how are you going to reach them? How are they going to find out about it? One of the funniest thing that just blows my mind, and a lot of people aren't even aware, and this is something that is everybody should have, is a Google My Business page. So a lot of people, when you search for something on Google and the information comes up on the right-hand side with the hours of operation and the click the call button and things like that, all of that is derived from a Google My Business page. You'd be surprised at how many people don't know about Google My Business or don't know how to access their page or haven't claimed their page, because what Google will do is sometimes they'll crawl and find the information and they'll create some sort of listing for you. So you need to go and claim that. There's definitely a detailed process for that, and getting that verified and everything. So we have a whole section of people that just focus on just taking care of all of the local listings. And it's not just Google My Business, it's it's Yelp if you're a restaurant, or in certain other cases it's Home Advisor if you're a contractor or electrician, or so there's a lot of outreach there.
But now for the outreach, that's those are
for the outreach. We're talking email marketing. So there's a lot. So there's e-marketing campaigns, which are really very, very important to, if you have any sort of email list or a customer base, what we'll do is, we can help you try to put that into a customer relationship management system and target your current customers, or also future customers if you have people that have been giving your email or adding information to a list. So we help you do all that stuff as well. Even text-based marketing is getting big now. So we do have programs that will, and that's more on the review side for the outreach. So we'll actually try to reach customers that you currently have and ask for reviews through that text-based medium. So there's a bunch of different technology that's in use there.
So that's reaching people you know.
Yeah.
Which is going to be limited by the length of your email list, the number of friends you got on Facebook, or followers on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever. That's all you're going to reach, and you already know them. They may or not be potential customers.
Right.
But if they are, you reached them. But an order of magnitude more has got to be done to reach people you don't know.
Correct.
So let's take that in 2 steps. What are the essential ways to reach people you don't know straight at them? No intermediaries, just reach them.
Well, one of the things that we spend a lot of time on is the best way to position your search engine optimization. So you really have to put a lot of thought into and this is one of the things that we just do second nature now when we're building the websites, is we build in all of the meta tags and keywords and structure the website in a way that, again, there's so much on the back end of the technical end of things, as far as like submitting XML sitemaps to Google and taking care of all that, but just making the site accessible enough as possible so Google can come and grab the information and you get listed on Google. And the higher the rank, obviously, the more popular your website will be and the more traffic you'll drive to it. Now, there's a bunch of different things that are involved in that, as far as page speed and the list is long, but we check all those off while we're designing, and we think about all this while we're designing and developing a site, to make sure that is in the best possible shape, so when Google comes and wants to grab your site information, it ranks very high. So that's one of the ways that you can kind of directly kind of put yourself out there. The other thing is obviously Facebook advertising. So Facebook advertising is great, because if you think about it, Facebook makes most of their money from advertising, obviously, because they know everything that you do. Yeah, like it or not. I mean, every time you like something, or every time you view something, Who knows? Every time you talk about something nowadays, I don't know. You might be telling them.
Be careful, you're about to scare the hell out of everybody.
No, I know, but no, you're sending them signal through all the pages that you visit and everything like that. So what that does from a marketing standpoint is it gives us a real good edge on. We can create a Facebook marketing campaign for exactly what your product is, exactly what your what your service is, and we can drive it to people who like the same things. The demographic, where they live, the geographic location, the age, gender. I mean, all of those things we can really, kind of drive down to a point on who we want to market to. So Facebook is amazing. Google AdWords, Google Ad campaigns are great. Same, very much of the same sort of. You can get into the nitty gritty of who you want those ads to show up for. So those two mediums, Facebook ads and Google ad campaigns and Google AdWords, are huge and just kind of driving direct to people who might be interested in your product or service.
Okay, we have a guest online, someone you know well, Dante. Good old Jim.
Oh yeah, Jim. Hey, what's up, buddy?
He's already asking 2 questions.
Yeah, he is. Oh, God. I hope it's not about the Redskins.
No, I have to ask a sports question, but don't encourage him.
Okay.
Because I'll lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know anything about that subject. But he's asking a pretty good one. I think maybe you'll touch upon this as well when you talk about reaching people you don't know through people you do know. But he asked. He says, how often should entrepreneurs post like news articles or post on other people's articles or post on people's posts about their business?
Right.
That in effect is a way, because you know the person who posted, perhaps.
Right.
You may not. So it's really a dual-edged sword. You can do this with people you know and people you don't know. Post on, I do this every day, post on articles of people I never met before.
Right.
Say something brilliant about what they wrote about.
Right.
So he's asking how often should people do this, say per week or per month?
Well, I tell you, repurposing content and also link sharing or guest blog post writing is one of the best. If you have the time and you're a writer and you want to a real quick, easy, organic and free for the most part, if you know the person that you're actually asking to share your content or post on their blog, guest blog post writing is a great outlet for that. And then just curating other people's content or vice versa, asking somebody to post an article for you. That's a wonderful community-based sort of very organic way to get, because anything that backlinks to your website or somebody else's website gives you more exposure on Google and through the search engines. And the more quality backlinks that you have on other people's websites, that's related to your business, really does a lot to help SEO as well.
In case we got people in the audience that don't know what a backlink is, could you just
backlinks are
explanation?
No, so backlinks are just like what Jim was saying about, like, so if you post your information on somebody else's blog or website, right? And then inside of that article there might be a link that is an HTML
URL,
a URL link that will link back to your website, and that's great. And somebody might click it, but believe it or not, Google actually looks for those things and it takes that information that there's a URL on somebody else's page that links back to your site. So that's that just kind of helps the whole thing kind of organically come together. And the more you have of those, the better for you, as long as they're positive and they're not like bad reviews or something like that.
Okay, let's take that, since we've now started into it. Now let's take the case of reaching people you don't know again, but through others you do know. Yeah,
well, referrals. Yeah, referrals are a huge thing. And referrals are one of the biggest things. There's whole platforms now for referral-based marketing and referral networks, and just word of mouth. And technology aside, just word of mouth through LinkedIn. LinkedIn's huge. Being able to come across somebody maybe on somebody else's LinkedIn profile that you think you might be able to have some positive or informative information for. You can actually reach out to that person who you're in contact with and ask for an introduction. There's people that do referral-based marketing on percentage basis. That's more kind of a sales thing, but it depends on the person's kind of daily situation, on who they're talking to and who they might know. The old thing goes, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, I believe that to a point. It is important to have a really good network of people, and if you can have somebody else that can give you a positive review or refer you, I think that's probably one of the best warm to hot leads you can get.
Yeah.
So
I talk about referral marketing too. Over the last couple of weeks, I think I covered that 2 or 3 times, but
right.
I liken it to establishing a relationship, trusted relationship with a number of individuals.
Right.
A relationship that's so strong that you don't even have to ask them to give you a referral. They just do it because they know what you do, because you kept them informed, month after month after month. So they know what you do. It's quick for them to remember you. Therefore, and when they see an opportunity, because they know what you do and the good work you do, to give you a referral, that's referral marketing in its ultimate form.
No, it is, yeah. And if you can get that without actually having to work hard for it or ask, then you're golden on that level.
So I have another question here. You mentioned this briefly, but expand a little bit. So all of what we talked about sounds B2B-ish. But is all of this stuff equally important for a B2C company? Online, retail, e-commerce kind of businesses?
It's almost one and the same as it's if as important, if not more important. It's as important, if not more important, because when you think about it, when you're trying to drive sales to a lot of it's some of it's a numbers game too. Like the more traffic you get to your site, you have to look at the buyer's journey and what they're looking for and if what you're selling is an impulse buy. But you're not going to get any sort of traction on that level unless you get people to your site, which is going to take marketing. It's going to take positive reviews. It's going to take having a good site to impress them enough where they want to buy or flip that switch to whatever your call to action is.
Yep.
So it's a lot of it's the same. So there might be a different angle to how we actually to kind of release certain ad campaigns based on if you're B2B or B2C, but it's all about reaching the right people and reaching the right people at the right time in the buyer journey, and then having them respond to that call of action that you want them to do.
So one of the reasons we're even having this conversation for hopefully a broader audience is that it really comes down to there are a lot of choices about how to go about this, but if the company owner knows the right ways to reach the people they're trying to reach that are potential customers, the channels become obvious to them. If they didn't do that piece of the work at the beginning, it's a food fight.
Right.
You're shooting out stuff in all sorts of different directions,
right,
not really knowing which one's going to land. You'll learn about it eventually if you run out of money spending on marketing people to do this stuff for you.
Yeah.
Jim has, I saved this question to last. He asked it first.
Yeah.
He asked kind of a personal question. Yeah. He said, because he thinks you're smart for some damn reason. So he said, who are influencers? In other words, who are the people that influence you the most, not maybe by name, but helped you learn about marketing? How did you learn what you know about marketing?
How did I learn about it? Okay, so the people that have actually influenced me the most, a couple of the people I don't even know personally and I think a lot of people have seen people like Gary Vaynerchuk or, there's other, well-known, digital marketers out there that, the audience probably won't know, but I will follow their blog. But as far as there's people locally, I've learned a lot from Jim, to be honest with you. I've learned a lot.
Oh, God, don't tell him that.
No, I have. I've learned a lot from Jim, and I've learned a lot from how he positions himself in the local community, especially.
Yeah.
And and just the amount of buzz that he's able to create, for his events and his network for entrepreneurs in Wilmington, and
it's hard to find somebody that is more influential than him. I agree.
No, right, yeah, no, because he and more connected too. But either way, it's important to kind of recognize who those people are and who those people would be that are giving you the good information, and kind of take all the good stuff and anything that you don't think might serve you, kind of leave behind. But
I think your answer sounds like I let Google be my friend, and I learn about it by experts. You named a couple,
right?
But there are a lot of really great marketing people to follow,
right?
Learn from and what they post.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's actually funny. There's just growing up, I used to watch a lot of tech related shows, and some of those people, I still kind of geek out to like tech TV, or Twit TV is so like Leo Laporte, who I've watched growing up. A lot of people that were on like CNET years ago. God, it's dating me now, but there's a lot of old tech journalists and a lot of tech journalists I follow too. So a lot of the people that are still out there, writing for The Verge or other places like that I keep up with, and kind of follow them on social media or read their blogs, stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. I do the same.
Yeah.
So look, hey, I know this has run longer than I said it would.
No, that's fine.
This stuff always does. But this was a very good conversation for me, and I'm sure our audience. We'll repost this tonight. I'll play it again on Facebook, and I'll post it in the morning again on Facebook, LinkedIn, and a link to it on Twitter. So we'll get more people engaged in learning about what you know in marketing. I thank you very much for participating with me tonight.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. If anybody's interested and has any questions about anything that we talked about, you can reach me directly at dante@impactworks.com. And I'll field your email and get back to you as soon as possible. But I'd like to kind of spread the knowledge and see if there's any way that I can help anybody.
Great. Thanks again, Dante.
All right.
See you in Wilmington soon.
All right. Thank you. See you soon.